CTV News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Paramedics will not be on strike as of Saturday in Windsor, Essex. This, despite the fact the union says negotiations took a step backwards today.
One of the biggest issues that we had today is that the employer reversed course on what was otherwise agreeable to them, and it was one of the key top two provisions in the negotiations. So they've been agreeable to it every step of the way since day 2 of negotiations, and now they just advise us that they have reversed course and are no longer agreeable to it.
Jovanovic wouldn't elaborate on what that specific issue is. However, about 340 paramedics have been without a new contract since May 8th. They were set to go on strike as of Saturday after an essential ambulance services agreement was inked, allowing the service to drop by 20%. However, tonight, the union says the county is asking the Labour Board to reconsider that decision, which means a strike is now off indefinitely. Though contract talks were planned for Monday, the union also alleges the county is cancelling those plans. CTV News has reached out to the county for comment but did not hear back as of news time. Now, this update was provided to the media as a rally took place outside of negotiations. More than 150 people, including residents and EMS staff, came out to show their support for local medics during this contract dispute. The rally coincided with those negotiations happening inside the Essex Civic Centre.
They need a competitive wage. They need mental health services themselves. They need more cars on the road, and they need more medics because it's getting worse out there.
Right now, the morale is low at the paramedic level, but amongst our ranks, we're emboldened and probably stronger than ever.
An early morning fire in downtown Windsor has displaced multiple tenants. The fire broke out around 5:30 inside this home in the 100 block of Jeanette Avenue. Damage from smoke and water has been pegged at $400,000. The investigation into the cause remains ongoing. Windsor police have arrested a 66-year-old man for 2 sexual assaults, one of which they describe as violent. On July 31st, a woman went with a man to his apartment. Once there, authorities allege he restrained the woman with a rope, punched her, and hit her with a metal bar before sexually assaulting and robbing the woman. She went to hospital for treatment, and once detectives launched an investigation, they learned a second woman was touched inappropriately in an elevator by a man police say is the same suspect. Vincent Profetto is under arrest and charged with 5 serious sex offenses. Meantime, 36-year-old Stephen Allen Marles has been charged by police. Authorities allege a suspect picked up 2 16-year-old girls, took them to a hotel where he gave them alcohol, performed sex acts with them, and then paid the girls money. Police say the incident happened again a week later. The city of Windsor is also seeing a sharp increase in the number of distracted driving cases. So far, members of the Traffic Enforcement Unit have issued 408 tickets for distracted driving. That's a 91% increase compared with the 214 tickets handed out during the same period last year. The maximum penalty for a conviction of distracted driving can be $3,000, a license suspension of up to 1 month, and up to 6 demerit points. Well, the Gordie Howe Bridge is already open to motorists, and today walkers and bikers got their first chance to cross into Detroit. Our Sanjay Mara was there and reports from the bridge deck.
As people get their first opportunity to cross the Gordie Howe Bridge on foot or by bicycle, it's all smiles.
We're so glad to be intermingling with our Canadian neighbors.
A little bit of song.
We stand on guard for
and even a few gifts for the first American to cross into Windsor via the newly opened multi-use path.
We want to congratulate you on being the first, and we want you to come back and join us again for an overnight stay, dinner on us, and an exclusive experience.
Thank you so much, Gordon.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right.
Wheelchairs permitted, little ones in strollers, and even a few unicycles spotted on opening day.
Going down it was super nice, so I'm really happy about the decline.
Ahead of the path's 8 a.m. opening, extensive lineups had formed on both sides of the border, with people hoping to be among the historic first group to access the pedestrian and cycling trail. But by 8:15, mass entry was paused as the trail reached its capacity of 250 people. For the remainder of the day, people were allowed to trickle in, but only as others exited.
And the midway point, the halfway mark on this multi-use path, has really become a gathering spot of sorts, not just because of the incredible view of the Detroit River, but because of this placard marking the international boundary between Canada and the United States.
Many here on opening day say this pathway, which gives users free access between both countries, serves as a symbol of unity.
I grew up where you could just go to Canada for shopping for a day. And now, you know, with all of the restrictions and things like that, and then the tensions, hopefully through this bridge, we're going to see it. We've been walking past saying good morning, seeing people with their Canada shirts on. So, you know, it takes people to heal the wounds.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
The party continued in Sandwichtown today, where the red carpet was rolled out to welcome new American visitors. Partners from both sides of the border came together today to welcome the first cyclists and pedestrians crossing the bridge. The opening celebration featured food, drinks, local vendors, and even bike repair crews on hand for those last-minute tune-ups. Many visitors say they hope today's first crossings turn what were once rare trips between Windsor and Detroit into regular journeys.
I think it's going to change the whole dynamics around Detroit. Go to Detroit, bike around there a while. Hey, you want to go over to Windsor? Okay. Is it going to take you 3 hours or 100 miles or you have to have a car? No.
Over to Essex County now. Council has approved a preliminary motion to have staff examine ways to prevent AI data centers. It comes as residents in the region voiced concerns about seeing one built in their backyard.
So there's lots of reasons that I'm concerned, and you should be looking at each one of these specifically. What I would like to see is the laws make it so it's as hard as possible for these things to exist. I don't want them in my backyard.
About 30 people, all opposed to the creation of data centers, attended tonight's meeting. Concerns ranged from noise levels to chemical pollution and energy usage. Administration will prepare a plan for public consultations and look at policy changes to prevent these facilities from being built in the region. That preliminary report isn't expected until next month. Now, the county does not have the power to put a moratorium on AI data centers. So far, there have been no applications, but councillors say there's a need to be proactive.
I'll tell you, when the regulation comes from the top down, usually we have no say and we have no choice but to deal, and we're in a reactive situation. And I think this motion allows us to get ahead of this and be proactive and actually put stuff in place before it's enforced upon us.
Meantime, the MP for Essex wants more warning for inclement weather. CTV's Chris Campbell has that story.
I truly believe that we are in a blind spot.
Essex MP Chris Lewis says the region relies heavily on U.S. weather radar, while Canada's closest radar serving Essex County is in Exeter, about 200 kilometers away. He says that became especially concerning during a July 3rd storm when strong winds caused widespread damage and 1,600 people at the Essex Fun Fest had to be evacuated.
People aren't getting fair warning, and Essex doesn't stop in London.
Lewis is asking Environment and Climate Change Canada to review its severe weather warning procedures and determine whether additional or improved radar coverage is needed. He says the issue extends beyond residents on land.
We have Lake Erie. We have Lake St. Clair. We have the Detroit River. We have our excellent airport. All of those will rely on this particular weather radar that I'm calling for an investigation into or study into.
Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkens agrees timely information is critical, pointing to a tornado that hit the city years ago.
The alert actually came about 10 minutes after the tornado had done its damage. And so that type of situation is not helpful to anyone in the city of Windsor.
Dilkens says better warnings are about giving people enough time to protect themselves and their families. And while severe storms can leave municipalities with major cleanup bills, he says better warnings aren't necessarily necessarily going to prevent much of that damage.
You know, it's really about the safety of residents. And if they had timely advanced information, then they'd be able to take appropriate action to protect themselves and their families.
CTV News reached out to Environment and Climate Change Canada for comment on the concerns raised by Lewis and the region's radar coverage, but did not receive a response by News Time.
What I really am trying to do is be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Please study this, and please figure out what the proper solution, what the solution to the issue is.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
The City of Windsor has launched an updated 311 mobile app, making it easier for residents to report issues around the city or to access city services. With summer activity increasing across the city, common concerns reported through 311 include potholes, dirty yards and alleys, park maintenance, graffiti, streetlight issues, tree-related storm damage, and missed garbage collection. Residents can also upload photos, pinpoint locations, and track the progress of their requests through the app, which is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A new outdoor fitness area is now open at Gateway Park in Windsor's West End. City officials held a ribbon-cutting ceremony today to celebrate the project. The free outdoor exercise equipment can accommodate up to 9 users at a time. It's designed for a range of abilities, focusing, of course, on strength, balance, flexibility, and cardiovascular fitness. Funding for the fitness area came through Ward 2 funds, with additional support from the Cal Tire Replay Fund, which helped pay for the recycled rubber surfacing, which, incidentally, is made from Canadian scrap tires.
The idea is really to activate this space and draw people to the river, and folks who are on the river. We'll get some signage down there at some point soon, hopefully, pointing them up here and draw them off the riverfront trail. Not that there's anything wrong with the riverfront trail, but just, bring them into this a park that you may not have thought about, you may not have considered. And it's just a little piece of, green space in the running up and down the middle of the city.
Stay with us. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald will join us after the break with a full look at the weather forecast. Then later, the province is reviewing 8 agencies to look for productivity and efficiency. We'll tell you which ones. As promised, CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now with our detailed look at the weather. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, folks. We had a nice little streak the last 3 days. Beautiful mornings, beautiful blue sky, seeing the moon, gorgeous light breeze in the afternoon. Warmer than seasonal, but not oppressive, right? Humidity values in the 50% range, 50 to about 55%. So 30 degrees today, felt like about 34. So it was warm, but it's August after all. Our average highs now going lower each day by about 1/10 of a degree Celsius. We do have a couple of things to discuss in terms of active weather headed our way. First, this rather expansive cold front that's going to work its way from west to east, right across the heart of Michigan, head towards southern Ontario. The disturbance to the east of us that's headed towards Fort Erie, Niagara Falls, Buffalo, New York, thunderstorms encapsulated there. Separate system riding up the Atlantic coast. It's not likely to have huge implications for us. That's the good news. So we're looking to the west, and that system right now is poised to bring showers likely a little bit further to the north and east of us. But what trails behind it, the post-front activity, could bring some light shower and thunderstorm activity for the afternoon. I'm anticipating between 5 p.m. and, say, 9 p.m. some of that activity. Light rains to start, but isolated thunderstorms could raise the tallies. So Windsor is looking at somewhere between 20 to 40 millimeters of rainfall. That's a prognostication, a simulation of what's to come in terms of the atmospheric conditions over time. So keep the umbrella nearby. For now, the overnight temperature is a mild, a warmish 19 degrees, the lowest temperature before dawn Thursday morning. And the breakdown for Thursday in Windsor, Essex works this way. Chance of showers, even a thunderstorm risk in the morning. It increases from a 30% chance to about a 60 to 70% chance as we head towards noon and beyond. Rain to start, thunderstorms to follow, likely the situation we're looking at. Here's the next 7 days. Note the rain and/or thunderstorm icons. We have 4 of the next 7 days, in particular the next 3. Showers through the weekend possible. Sunday, technically the first day of the week, starts off sunny, still warm, and then we cool off a bit. Cloudy with showers Monday, and then down towards maybe 27, 26 degrees a week from now. The takeaway, showers tomorrow, thunderstorms. We are wet. We need the rains, though. It's coming our way. Michelle?
Premier Doug Ford has called by-elections in 3 ridings. The by-elections are set for Scarborough Southwest, York Simcoe, and Hamilton East Stony Creek. Under Ontario's Election Act, elections must be called on a Wednesday and be held the 5th Thursday after the writ is issued, meaning voting day for those 3 ridings is September 3rd. Meantime, the province is launching reviews of several large public agencies looking for efficiency and productivity. The announcement Wednesday from Treasury Board President Peter Bethenfalvy comes as government spending has been under increased scrutiny recently due to Toronto area Progressive Conservative caucus members billing thousands in Toronto hotel stays. Premier Doug Ford has said he told them to pay back, quote, every single penny. But Bethenfalvy could not say if that's happened. Bethenfalvy said the province is reviewing 8 agencies starting this summer with an eye to ensuring their spending is sustainable. The agencies being reviewed are Metrolinx, the Workplace Safety and Insurance Board, Supply Ontario, Liquor Control Board of Ontario, Ontario Cannabis Retail Corporation, Legal Aid Ontario, Agricor, and the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario. A progressive Democrat nabbed the key victory for the night for his party in Michigan, leading the charge for the left-wing part of the party. Now comes a showdown for a major swing state in the fight to control the U.S. Senate and a race against a Trump-backed candidate. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell has details from Washington.
That Abdul El-Sayed will win the Democratic primary for the United States Senate in Michigan.
Abdul El-Sayed delivered a big win for Michigan progressives and the left wing of the Democratic Party in the highest profile race of the night. He beat Congresswoman Haley Stevens in a very close contest and overcame a big money surge from outside groups, including millions from a pro-Israel super PAC.
And what we showed is that the power of our many is greater than the power of their money.
El-Sayed, a doctor and former public health official, ran on a platform of stopping military aid to Israel and Medicare for all. But in a general election, he must appeal to a broader electorate.
As bitter and as divisive and as cynical as the campaign against us might have been, I want us to realize that there is so much more that unites us now.
El-Sayed will face former Republican Congressman Mike Rogers in November. He is endorsed by President Trump. Both men vying to replace Democrat Gary Peters, who is retiring.
I talked to him this morning and congratulated him on a victory. We have to win Michigan. It's absolutely essential for us to keep that state blue, my state blue.
Michigan is must-win in November if Democrats are to take control of the Senate. El-Sayed describes himself as a progressive, not a socialist, but Republicans are painting him as one. President Trump calling him a communist loser, and Vice President J.D. Vance saying,
God forbid you're going to have President El-Sayed in 3 years.
In a statement today, Congresswoman Haley Stevens congratulated El-Sayed and vowed to help him unify Democrats on the way to November. Kelly O'Donnell, NBC News, Washington.
Markets in Canada and the United States were up as investors wait on a potential deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. In Toronto, the TSX gained 345 points. In New York, the Dow added 263. The Nasdaq fell 222. The Canadian dollar gained a fifth of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold gained about $150 an ounce. Oil lost 55 cents a barrel.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
It's been a hot summer, and chances are you've been using your vehicle's air conditioner almost every day. If your car has a stale or musty smell when you turn on the AC, the problem could be hiding in your dashboard. To explain, here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Have you noticed an unpleasant smell coming from your car's air vents? Before you start searching under the seats for gym clothes or spilled food, the source may be something much more common.
What you're probably smelling is condensation from the evaporator inside your heating and cooling system. Basically, water collects in that area, and if it sits for long enough, it creates that musty smell.
Your vehicle's air conditioning system creates condensation. Most of that water drains underneath the car, which is why you may occasionally notice a small puddle beneath it. But if moisture lingers inside the evaporator housing, it can create the perfect environment for mold and bacteria to grow, causing odors every time you turn on the fan. Fortunately, fixing the problem doesn't require a trip to the repair shop. Start by opening the windows and setting the interior fan to a low speed. Then use a disinfectant spray such as Lysol or a cleaner specifically designed for automotive air conditioning systems. Spray it into the vehicle's fresh air intake, also known as the plenum.
The plenum can be found at the base of your windshield where the wipers are located. This is where the air comes from that goes into your heating and cooling system.
With the engine running and the fan turned on, spray the cleaner into both sides of the plenum intake. The ventilation system will pull the disinfectant through the ductwork, helping kill odor-causing bacteria and freshen the air inside the vehicle. Keep the windows open during the process to help air out the car. And if your vehicle has a cabin air filter, it's recommended to remove it before spraying the cleaner so the disinfectant can circulate more effectively through the system. Also consider replacing the filter altogether. A dirty cabin filter can restrict airflow, affect system performance, and contribute to unpleasant odors. And replacing it yourself can save you both time and money. Pat Foran, CTV News.
If you want to stay in the warmth this coming winter, you now have a new option out of YQG. Air Transat is launching a new weekly non-stop service between Windsor and Cancun. These flights out of Windsor International Airport will operate every Saturday, starting December 19th. It's in addition to weekly WestJet Sunwing flights to Cancun on Mondays and seasonal direct flights to Punta Cana on Fridays. The seasonal flight will be available through April 25th. 2027. Harness horse racing returns this Sunday to Leamington. The Lakeshore Horse Racing Association is welcoming fans back for opening day on Sunday, August 9th, with an afternoon of racing and family activities. Admission and parking both free. The first race is set for 1 o'clock. Organizers say it's a chance for families to enjoy the excitement of live racing as horses and drivers return to the track for another exciting season.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Fields of sunflowers are a popular backdrop for photos. Now that backdrop is also a fundraiser near Rodney. CTV's Sean Irvin explains.
This field full of sunflowers is literally an idea come true for West Elgin resident Jody Aldred. The 29-year-old recently returned to this area and within a few months envisioned the concept and the message.
From the aerial view, you can see a bumblebee, the word kind, and then a walking path.
The words match Aldred's new vision in life, which she hopes to share with others.
I wanted something that could resonate with everyone, and I landed on Be Kind Blooms, and I want it to be a space where people come and they don't worry about yesterday or tomorrow. I think the mission behind the patch is just live for today, choose joy, and be kind.
There are nearly 30 acres of blooms here, which adds up to, get this, almost 600,000 sunflowers. It takes about 20 minutes to walk the wide trails if you don't stop.
Unless you know someone, you don't always have a chance to step foot on farm and truly just enjoy it at a slow pace.
But most visitors probably will, including a select few who book in advance for a date night experience in one of 5 open areas.
You can go to a restaurant any day of the week, but not every day can you drive out to the country and come and enjoy a sunset and sunflowers.
As a young entrepreneur, Jody hopes the field she created in partnership with family and local businesses attracts people to West Elgin.
West Elgin honestly lacks something to draw people, so for people to come out and give them reason to come and enjoy the country.
The field opens this Friday, with all proceeds on August 25th going to the Children's Health Foundation. More information is on our website and app now. In West Elgin, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
And let's take one final look at the weather. Here's CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald.
Michelle, I think tomorrow's a bit on the rainy, active weather side. Towards the afternoon, certainly evenings around 6 p.m., supper time for a lot of us. Headed towards 9 p.m., that's where we could see intermittent showers to start, followed by some isolated thunderstorm and shower activity a little bit later on in the evening. A high of 27 is seasonal or average for this time of the year. Then we're looking at a cloudy next couple of days, Friday and Saturday, highs of 29, 28, a couple of degrees above seasonal, still humid, of course, and then a sunny break for Sunday. Perfect timing. Warm, 29, feels like about 34. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a slight decline, a decrease in temperatures as we go from 29 to 28 to 27. Cloudy, Monday, Tuesday, showers possibly to start the work week Monday, and then fair weather a week from now. That's the way the weather is shaping up. Wherever you are, enjoy the weather. Let's be good to ourselves and each other, of course. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Scientists are certain that part of a wayward SpaceX rocket slammed into the moon this morning. The second stage of a SpaceX rocket that launched a pair of lunar landers had been drifting off course for the last year. The space debris was expected to slam into the lunar surface at 2:35 a.m. The collision has yet to be officially confirmed, but space tracking experts insist it was inevitable that the leftover rocket segment plowed into the moon. SpaceX says a combination of solar activity and gravity accidentally put it on collision course with our closest celestial neighbor. Well, that's all the time we have for now. On behalf of the entire CTV News Windsor team, thanks for joining us. I'll see you right back here Thursday at 11 o'clock.